I'm one of your FBLA co-presidents for this year alongside Casey Tobrick and Sydney Brown, who couldn't be here with us today. Welcome to the 2022 induction ceremony for the Washington Township Chapter of Future Business Leaders of America. The FBLA crest illustrates the importance of our mission to bring business education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. As part of the largest student business career organization in the world, FBLA provides opportunities for every member to become a leader of tomorrow. As an executive board, our mission is to bring business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs, and together we look forward to making this year worthwhile and fun for everyone. Now, please welcome our advisor, Ms. Erica Fareno.
Thank you, Tom. So, to the members of the Washington Township High School chapter of FBLA, I congratulate each and every one of you for taking one of the many important steps in developing a positive future. What sets you aside from other students of the 21st century planning to graduate high school, attend a university, and pursue a successful career and earn a giant salary in your drives to join this organization? We are a nationally recognized competitive business organization, and this will serve as a stepping stone to developing your future. Taking an active role in the local chapter of FBLA will help you build a comprehensive resume. Our members strive for excellence through competition at FBLA Southern Regional Conference, the NJ state and national level competitions, not to mention competition in the NJ Division of Consumer Affairs Consumer Bowl. We contribute to the community through local charity events and through generous donations to the March of Dimes organization, our national philanthropy. Our members have valuable opportunities to network with industry professionals and other business-minded students their own age. Whether you completed with us last year or just joined this year, I congratulate you on taking this giant step and taking control of your career and your future. I hope that you take advantage of all the opportunities that Washington Township's FBLA will offer, and I wish you all a successful rest of your school year. I congratulate the number of members who participated in that regional competition, but on advancing to the higher levels of state competition this year. At this time, I'd like to introduce Casey Tobrick to lead the candle lighting ceremony, our co-president.
As part of the FBLA induction ceremony tradition, our vice presidents will now each light a candle that represents a part of our mission. Vice presidents, as you're called, please come forward and light the corresponding candle. The first pillar of FBLA is service. The idea that every individual should be actively involved in promoting a better version of the world around them. Our chapter's involvement with community service activities help all members get involved in making a positive difference in the world around them. Our Vice President of Service, Olivia Andrisso, will now light the gold candle representing FBLA's commitment to improving the world around them. The second pillar of FBLA is education. One of the main goals of FBLA is to ensure that members receive a meaningful education throughout their time as students at Washington Township High School. Education activities through FBLA help assist our members in gaining a deeper understanding of business careers and business-related concepts. Our Vice President of Education, Nicholas Sema, will now light the white candle representing FBLA's commitment to assisting members in attaining a meaningful education. The third pillar of FBLA is progress. As part of FBLA, we rise to the challenges of tomorrow and help give members the skills to meet those challenges in stride. Especially through the pandemic, FBLA has sought to help members progress as individuals and as a community. Our Vice President of Progress, Amy Wang, will now light the red candle representing FBLA's continued commitment to meeting the challenges of tomorrow. We would now like to welcome Department Supervisor Mr. Jeffrey Snyder to induct our 2022 Washington Township FBLA officers.
Thanks. Welcome all of you, and I thank you all for being a part of FBLA in whatever capacity that is. I think it's important to look to the future and to expand and be involved. I know a lot of you are doing a lot of things. I'm sure if I asked in this school and outside of this school, but the fact that you guys are putting the effort and putting the time in to be involved in FBLA says a lot about you, and I really do want to just take a moment and thank you all for that kind of in advance for your service, and I really hope that you get just a lot of memories and a lot of useful tools kind of moving in skills moving forward, being a part of this organization. All right, so at this time, I will do the installation of officers. So as I call your name, please come to the FBLA table to recite our officer pledge together. Thomas Tate, Casey Tobrick, Olivia Indrisso, Amy Wang, Nicholas Sima, Daniel Hillig, Natalie Amberselli, Jessica Way, Maeve Fitzgerald, Sean Parcheski, and Emily Ryan. And now you're going to please recite the officer's oath after me. I state your name. That was good. That was good. As an officer, all right, sorry, next slide. I want to make sure you're ready. As an officer of Future Business Leaders of America, do solemnly promise to carry out the responsibilities of my office to the best of my ability and to perform them in accordance with the bylaws of FBLA. I now formally recognize you as members of the Washington Township FBLA Executive Board with all the rights and privileges of your designated leadership title in good standing. You may now be seated.
All right, thank you, Mr. Snyder, for your support as our CTE supervisor. So every year as an executive board, we search for someone we think will share valuable advice about leadership and success. This year, we decided on someone that has truly taught me everything I've ever known about leadership, perseverance, courage, and why Die Hard is actually the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Our guest speaker today is Thomas Tate III, a 20-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps, including 2 tours of combat in Iraq and Afghanistan, a Purple Heart recipient, a father of 5, a husband of 18 years, a stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer survivor, a part-time jiu-jitsu instructor, a black belt in karate and Krav Maga, and a project manager for University of Pennsylvania Hospital System, and also my dad. I know no greater leader than my dad, and I'm truly honored that he accepted our invitation today and only charges us the small price of a single black coffee. Without further ado, please welcome my dad, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Thomas K. Tate III.
About business, right? Easy out here. Leadership, probably talk about that. Spent 20 years in the Marines, learning from all kinds of different leaders, good ones, bad ones. I picked up a couple things along the way that I think is useful in pretty much every situation. Leadership is one of the hardest things you're ever going to do, right? You can open a business and you can have great marketing, you can have a great product, you can have great service, but if you don't have leadership from the lowest ranks all the way to the highest ranks, your business is going to fail. Leadership is what keeps everything together, keeps everybody going strong, and makes businesses successful. So as we talk about this, I don't know why you're all here, right? Like you were saying. Maybe you want to be a business leader, maybe you want a club for your college transcripts or whatever, right? That's great, right? It's great because you're going to learn something, right? That's the goal of my 7-minute little Tom talk here. Learn one thing. That's all I'm asking, right? Leadership is an attitude. Right? I'm going to keep pounding on this word leadership because it's the most important thing you're going to do as a human. Right? From here until the day you die. Right? You lead yourself, you lead lead others, you lead your family. Anytime you interact with somebody, somebody's the leader. And it's most likely going to be you guys. All right, it's an attitude, right? It's an attitude that helps inspire people to be better than they were yesterday or 5 minutes ago, right? If you learned one thing from my little talk today, you might be better than you were before I started speaking, and that's the goal, right? That should always be your goal when you're having a conversation with somebody. Some important things we talk about in business or leadership is building relationships, right? This is a relationship building club right here. All these contacts that you're going to make while you're here, fantastic. Make sure you keep them, right? You got to build relationships when you're opening your business, or you're doing anything. You're working at Wendy's, you're working at McDonald's, Kohl's, wherever, right? You got to build relationships. It's only going to embarrass them a little bit. You got to build relationships. You got to make sure that you're forming an environment in class, as your teachers do, conducive to learning, conducive to team building, right? You got to make sure that no matter what you're doing, you're heading in the right direction towards success. And that starts with building relationships with the people around you and then other outside entities. So now we'll get a little bit farther into the discussion. I got 10 leadership principles I picked up while I was in the Marine, right? And they're pretty good for every situation you're going to run into. Rule number 1, you got to show up, right? Everybody's heard this before. You got to be there where the metal meets the meat, right? You got to be on the ground with your people, with your friends, volunteering, going to class, learning things, leading the way. Rule number 2, set the example. Right? The way you act, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you interact with people. Everything you do, somebody's always watching. And you got to act that way. And somebody's always looking at you. Right? In the back of the room, in the front of the room, the side of the room. Everybody's always looking. There's always a camera. Right? If somebody was watching you, what would they think? So you need to set the example, whether that's at home or at school. You got to be enthusiastic, right? I know sometimes up here my voice gets drones on, it gets a little boring, right? But it's contagious, right? So if I'm up here, I'm just putting everybody to sleep. So I try to be a little loud, not so monotone, doesn't always work. But the idea is you got to try to be enthusiastic. Even if everybody heard fake it till you make it, right? Enthusiasm is something that sometimes you got to do, right? You show up to a meeting, you show up to a business function, you go to the class that you don't want to be in, and you're the leader. You're here, right? You have to show everybody, hey, when I'm in front of the class, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not going to talk in a monotone voice. I'm going to give it some effort and put some enthusiasm into what I'm saying. You got to be persistent, right? I don't know how many athletes we got, and I know that it's big that everybody says rise and grind, and you got to grind, and you never quit. Same thing goes with academics. Same thing goes with leadership. Right? You got to be persistent with your leadership. You're always learning something, right? There's 67 million books on leadership, all saying different things, and some of them say the same things in different ways. And sometimes it's going to click, and that's the stuff you got to look for, right? How can you become a better leader? You got to stay persistent. You got to be well organized, right? You got to have a plan A, plan B, all the way to Z, right? From when you get up in the morning, everybody's got a morning routine, right? If something goes wrong, what happens? You're late to school, you got to have a plan A, plan B, and you got to take responsibility for that. Be proactive, right? I'm going to talk to these guys too. So about that all the time. You got to be proactive, okay? If you see something, do something about it, right? Don't wait for your teacher to say, hey, we got to come up with this idea, or you know something's coming up on the calendar. Start working on it now. Don't wait till the last minute, right? Stay proactive. Brilliance in the basics. Everybody's heard the walk, run, or the crawl, walk, run theory, right? You gotta learn how to crawl, then you walk, and then you run. If you start running first off, everybody gets tripped up. Same thing in leadership, right? You learn the basics, right? And then you build on those, and same thing in a business. You gotta balance the budget. You gotta Figure out how many employees you have, how much money you got, how you're gonna market, where you're gonna put your store, what you're gonna service, how you're gonna do it. You gotta know all those things before you can become, the most successful business person of all time, right? You gotta be good at the basics, communicating. Own your responsibilities. Own your responsibilities. You screw up, good. Jack something up, good. Right? It doesn't matter. Because you're out there and you're trying to do something. If you screw it up, if somebody else screws it up, it's fine. Right? Because we take the blame and we give credit. So as leaders, our job is to show up and we're there. If something goes wrong, it's our fault. Right? It's not your fault. It's not his fault. It's my fault. Right? That's what we do as leaders. We take the responsibility for our own actions and the actions of our team. This one's going to sound a little weird, but you got to be a great follower. Right? What does that mean? Everybody in here's got great ideas. You might only be able to pick one for a community service event, right? So sometimes, you got to let the guy that doesn't speak up a lot, maybe his idea, you let that one slide through. Why? So that he gains confidence. So that, he knows that his opinion's worth something. Right? There's always somebody that, put it this way. Sometimes you just need to keep your mouth shut and your ears open. Right? Some of the best leaders that I ever ran into would sit in a meeting like a fly on the wall, the highest ranked guy in the room, and all his guys, all his workers around the table hashing out the plan. And because they hashed out the plan without all his input, they had a lot of buy-in, right? They had a lot of buy-in on what they were about to do. And maybe he tweaked one thing or two things here and there, but the plan was there, right? So what he did is he kept his mouth shut, kept his ears open, and let the team come up with a plan. Something to think about. Rule number 10, you gotta think big picture, right? That's why people are in here, right? Future business leaders of America. So you're already thinking, hey, you know what? I want to learn about business. I want to learn how to be a leader. I want to learn all kinds of different things about future business leading, right? That's why you're here. So you're already kind of thinking big picture, right? You're already thinking big picture. Where you're going to go to college. That's a big picture, right? What you're going to do this weekend, right? You're thinking more than 10 minutes ahead. Right, so you're already planning, you're already doing those things. So just keep those in mind. You do those 10 rules I got right there, and it leads you to like these last 3 things that you kind of want to do as a leader. Right? As if you are the one in charge, right? You're teaching. They define reality for you, right? When they come into class or whatever, they tell you, hey, this is what you're doing today. You got to do that in your own world. Right, to yourself, right? Leading yourself. Hey, this is what I'm doing today. You're defining your own reality. Okay, this is what I got going on. And for the team that you're leading, you then provide selfless service. Right? What do they need to succeed? Right? That's what your teachers do again, right? They're a great example of this. They provide you with, homework, right? Or extra time after class, or anything you need to understand what they're trying to tell you. It's the same thing leaders do. It's the same exact thing. Right? Leaders in businesses do the same thing day in and day out. Come up with a plan. This is what the plan is. There's your reality. Execute. Plan ticks off. How can I help you? What can I do to help you? Right? Because it's on me as the leader to make sure that everyone succeeds. It'll be on you as a business leader to make sure that everyone succeeds. If somebody screws up, whose fault is it? Your fault. So you got to keep everything together. And then the one thing that I don't think happens enough, especially in the military, right, is thank you, right? Thank the people that you're working with for their hard work and their dedication. It's not hard, right? A thank you goes a long way. Even if somebody screws up, hey, thanks for putting in the work. We missed the mark this time, but we'll get it next time, right? You got to stay positive in energy and in your attitude, right? It's all contagious. Back to enthusiasm. It's all contagious. Gotta stay positive in energy and attitude. Last thing I'll leave you with is, humility. Right? Humility is the #1 leadership trait. If you can stay humble, and stay disciplined, you're going to be a great leader. Stay humble, stay disciplined. Say it one more time. You don't remember anything from what I just said there for however long it's been. Stay humble, stay disciplined. And that is how you become a great leader. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. You are about to take an important step. Your qualifications have been examined, and you have been recommended for the formal membership in Washington Township High School FBLA organization. This is an important occasion for you and for us. This organization exists because it has high purpose to which all who have become members commit themselves to the 3 guiding principles: service, education, and progress, which fulfills our mission statement. Will all members please rise and recite the Fbla Pledge as it is on the back of your programs together with me? So everybody please rise. Are you guys ready? I solemnly promise to uphold the aims and responsibilities of future business leaders of America, Phi Beta Lambda, and as an active member, I shall strive to develop the qualities necessary in becoming a responsible business leader. I now declare you to be members of the Washington Township chapter of FBLA with all the rights and privileges of membership for the 2021-2022 school year. So thank you all for coming. If you have any questions about states, please let me know. We are coming up on our testing, so the testing will take place on Monday, February 14th, and Tuesday, February 15th after school in G202. Again, I have some people that are still either have not made their full payments yet or still partial payments, so please come up to me and we can talk about that. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Let's see what time it is. And you guys are dismissed to go back to class. Thank you.